What's up, everybody? Welcome back to What If Boise State Joined the Pac-12? Well, so far we've learned that they will go 6-3 through 9 weeks. This is game number 10, episode number 11. And I already have a hiccup. Boise State had a couple of wins, a couple of nice wins. One over UNLV, 31-0. And a win over a ranked Washington team to put them up to number 22 in the rankings for a showdown with Oregon State on the blue. Real quick, we'll take a look at the conference standings. We are not in contention to be in the what's it called? Conference championship. Oregon would need to lose 2 games. We would hold a tiebreaker over Stanford, but we also would need to beat Oregon. So we have a shot, but I don't think it's really likely. We will most likely be facing USC, who has a multi-game lead over Utah, who was the next closest. It's been USC's since very early in the season, as they have raced out to a 9-1 record and a 7-0 conference record. The North was the dominant team, or the dominant section of the conference for the early part of the season, but they have sustained some losses, including Washington State going 2-5, Oregon State back at 2-4, Washington's 3-3, and Boise State is 3-3. Hopefully we can take care of Oregon State. We lost to Washington State earlier in the season, so hopefully not another letdown before another big game. This one would be in Oregon. So I guess you could qualify this as another kind of trap game, where Oregon is looming, or maybe Oregon's looming, and Oregon State, maybe Boise State doesn't take them that seriously, and that's all she wrote for them. Looks like the top 10 remains the exact same, so Alabama, Mississippi State, Notre Dame, Oklahoma State. I do want to point out that Notre Dame lost their one first place vote, so that's good. Virginia Tech, Nevada, all the way up at number 6. Oklahoma, Ohio State, Auburn, USC, Florida State, South Carolina, TCU, Illinois, Oregon, Michigan State. We're seeing some movement here. Penn State, all the way up from 22nd. Georgia, Stanford, UCF took a loss and they dropped 6 spots. That's why you see so much movement there. Texas A&M, Boise State, after being unranked, now at 22. Michigan State, same story, but number 23. NC State, 7-2, fell a couple of spots down to number 24. And last but not least, we have Arkansas. Dropped out, number 20, LSU, number 25, Utah. Nebraska, Fresno State, Houston, and USF received votes. LSU did as well, but Utah did not. So, we're all caught up around the country. Who's doing well? Who's doing what? Who's going where? Is there like a bowl game outlook? Maybe? Oh, we can take a look at the coach feedback here. 50%. So we're not great. Make sure we don't get too full of ourselves, Coach, after that win over UNLV. And make sure that we're not looking too far ahead of ourselves to Oregon next week. I am in the bottom 5 of job security. Great. This series might be over before it even begins. Team management, stats and records. Is there no way to look at like the bowl outlook? BCS rankings, toughest places to play. Oh, by the way, we were just looking at the top 25 polls. I do not really care about the BCS rankings. We're not super concerned with that. If we're in contention, we might keep an eye on that, but I'm not concerned with it right now. This should be a much tougher matchup than UNLV was last week. Boise State ranking as an A+, and a B+. All of those over or stronger than Oregon State. No controllers. This is a series where I just watch and commentate along, hopefully for your enjoyment. And we'll get started. Steelers 719, by the way. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Don't run ahead of pulling linemen on running plays. Let them set up their blocks first. You got it. I'm not playing, but thank you. It attempts an onside kick for a chance of getting the ball back quickly after scoring. When you do, try kicking the ball down to the ground with about medium power for best results. I did that off camera. I was doing this. So welcome to NCAA Football, ESPN College Football, presented here on twitch.tv/Shaunosaurus Rex by no one but me. That's normally where you would put a sponsor. I guess I could offer that as a bonus or something. Maybe like a channel points thing. Oh, I just thought of that. That's not a bad idea at all. If you dedicate a certain number, if you spend a certain number of channel points, I'll say that it's presented by you. This will be a consistent series here on the channel, so. Welcome on into Boise, Idaho. We are on the blue for the third of 3 games in a row at home. After spending a lot of time on the road in the first half of the season, we're back at home for, or more often, we're back home more often than not for the remainder of the season. I believe we have 2 more home games. Go visit Oregon. I believe we're home against Utah. Here's your stats for Chris Austin. 91 for 181, 1,230 yards, 12 touchdowns. Every 100 yards, he's throwing a touchdown. He also has a lot of interceptions. He threw 2 in the last game against UNLV. All right, here's the kickoff, or the coin toss, I should say. Boise State wins. They will defer to the second half. 4 miles an hour of wind. Boise State will receive the ball here. We are away. Game number 10. Fielded at the 5-yard line, up to the 25, to the 30. Not up to the 33-yard line or so. So Boise State will have good field position. Austin, the quarterback. Jackson, the running back. Other Jackson, the tight end. See what they have in store today. First play is a run off the right side, and he almost broke it for a huge gain. Instead, it's all the way up to midfield for about 17 yards. Great run there. Got through the hole. Maneuvered around some players and got a big gain on the first play from scrimmage. Single back set. 3-step drop. Floats it out to the right, and that should have been an interception. That was a terrible throw. Absolutely horrendous. 2 receivers, bottom side, single back set. Again, quick drop. Again, the same play. They ran the same play just to the opposite side, and that was again nearly picked off. We have the Beavers with their older style uniforms. It's hard to make a Beaver look tough, and I don't think they have successfully done it. Nice pass on the out there. Knocked out of bounds around the 22-yard line, so it'll be first down and 10. So Austin nearly throws 2 interceptions and finds Rice for a very nice completion. And yet again, we have Boise State, the stadium, struggling to figure out the track and the color of the field. And there's our boy, Buster, or as I call him, Bullseye. Cheering on the Broncos. First down and 10, I formation. Drops back to pass. Deep drop. Plenty of time. Whips it over the middle, and that was picked off at the 13-yard line. Nice play by Smith there, whose name I only know because I heard it from the PA announcer. He just sat there. Was going for someone deep in the end zone, but just didn't get enough lift on that ball. And a nice play defensively for Oregon State. And they'll take over at the 14-yard line. So, hand the ball off. Ooh, that is a dangerous high tackle there on Martin. It'll be 2nd down and 9 after the 1-yard gain. Lucky it wasn't a horse collar tackle. Definitely got him up by the shoulders, but it's not really a place you want to even be in question of. Brought some pressure off that outside edge, but didn't get to him in time. Instead fires the pass in for a nice completion there. There just wasn't anybody there to defend. Looked like they were playing a zone defense there on the back end. Boise State will set up for 1st down and 10. Drop the pressure there. 4 linemen tipped and dropped, and a lot of players in there, but no one came up with the ball, so Sullivan will get credit for the breakup. 3:37 here, 1st quarter. Winding the season down here. Now, by the time you're watching this on YouTube, this series has been long done. And hang on, I have my calendar right next to me. Yeah, this video is, it's 2021 when this video posts. 4th and 20, Giblaze. Just nowhere to go on the screen pass there. Nice play by Boise State. Too busy looking at a calendar to see it in real time. Thankfully, we got a replay of it. Just want to bring out the punting team, and they'll lose most of the yards they got after that interception. Punting from around the 5-yard line. Kick is away. Fielded inside the 35. Up to about the 41. And again, you know, I've talked about it throughout the season, but Boise State's special teams not great. Not a ton of great kick returns, or punt returns, I should say. The kick returns are a little different, but they also aren't super great at covering kick returns. It seemed like each team in the last game against UNLV got 25 yards pretty much regardless of what was happening. I did forget to check, though. I forgot to check and see if Oregon won, because I believe they're in the driver's seat. So, yeah. It was a big game against Washington a couple weeks ago. Washington needed a win to keep pace with Oregon, but they dropped that. They faced Oregon the next week, run up the middle. Gives Boise State a 1st down. And Oregon now in the driver's seat in the Pac-12 North. So, like I was saying, USC, they're in control in the South. They might even have it locked up. I don't know if there's a signifier that's like, hey, they got it. But Oregon, if just one loss, and if Boise State can pull off a victory at Autzen Stadium, and they win out, could end up actually playing in the Pac-12 championship game. But they do need some help, and they might actually need some help from these very Beavers later in the season. 2nd down and 11, the pass is complete across the 1st down marker, so it'll be 1st and 10. Nice play there. Boise State was very consistent with this last week, throwing a lot of these crossing routes. Brooks picks up the 1st down on that play. Not 100% sure who Oregon has on the schedule. But a victory here, a victory next week, and one loss, and it could get very interesting. And that's the exciting part about late season football. Float pass again, right about that same spot. Another crossing route that works again for Boise State. So it'll be 1st down and 10. The official dances. I don't know if you can see it. My camera might have been blocking it, but Rice there with a nice move outside, then back in. Gave himself enough space to get 10 yards. Single back set. Splits the receiver out, hands the ball off. Had a big hole on the right side, but looks like he bumped into his lineman and slowed him down just enough for Oregon State to make a nice defensive play. Gain of 2. Snaps the ball, play action pass. Deep drop, float pass over the top, deflected in the corner of the end zone. Incomplete. So 3rd down and 8 here. I like that play, though. Didn't necessarily throw it where only his receiver could get it, but would have been a tough interception. Oh, my goodness. The opposite of tough is easy, and that's what Tillman's touchdown just was. That was very open. Excellent play there by Boise State, running it in for 6. Austin found it. Nice decision, decisive throw there. Had him wide open. Touchdown, Boise State. Extra point pending. See Austin to R. Tillman for 20 yards and a touchdown. 8 plays. 57 yards, I believe. Minute and 58 seconds off the clock. Kickoff returned up to the 25-yard line, just like I was saying. About 25-yard returns regardless. So Oregon State looking at okay field position here. Hand off to the left side. Nothing doing there. Excellent play by Boise State. Drops him for a loss of 2. 2nd down and 12 coming up. We'll have to actually look at the game results, because if we're in contention for the Pac-12 championship, which granted it's going to take some luck. Huge run there. It's a 10-yard, 11-yard gain. 3rd down and 1. Looked like it should have been stopped right at the line of scrimmage, but a couple of Boise State defenders overran the play a little bit. Overran the player. Turned into an 11-yard gain. That might actually be Jaquiz Rogers. This may have been the Rogers brothers era, excuse me, in Oregon State history. 3rd down and 1. Squeezes through. That'll be 1st and 10. There's Benny Beaver. We see him every March and September in the mascot tournament. There's going to be a lot of sports on my channel in March. Just put that together. Hopefully no cool games come out in the month of March, which is always what happens. Alright, so that'll do it here for quarter number 1. Oregon State. Boise State. 7-0. I read that all backwards. ESPN College Football continues after this brief intermission. And that brief intermission was very brief. 1st down and 10 for Oregon State from the 44-yard line. Short drop. Nice little slant. If it works against you, maybe it works against them. That actually was an incomplete pass. My apologies. It looked like he brought that in, no problem. That was going to be a 9-yard gain, 2nd down and 1, but instead, incomplete. Nice play there. The tackle will push him past the 1st down marker, so it'll be 1st down and 10 for Oregon State. What a move there by the receiver from Oregon State. I believe that's Hicks on the Broncos end. What a nice move to give himself some room there from the 49-yard line. Trips receivers. Moving some motion. Drops back to pass. Throws it. Finds a little outlet player there. They motioned him over to that side, and then he just kind of stood there and was like, hey, if you need me, you know where I am. Not moving at all. 7-yard gain brings up 2nd down and 3. Pitch out. Nice play by Boise State. 2nd and 3 turns into 3rd and 8. A huge 5-yard loss. Back to midfield. Read that play perfectly. A little blitz off the edge, and that'll make it 3rd and long. Two receivers, bottom of your screen. Drops back to pass. They bring 3 down linemen and rush a 4th. No one gets there. Finds the receiver over the middle and gets just enough for the first down. So an excellent second down play, but a bad third down play. And that'll be 1st and 10, Oregon State. I get so used to saying the other team name, like UNLV or Arizona State or whatever. It was pretty bad. Having Arizona and Arizona State back to back was like, oh god. Oh dear god. Another wide open receiver over the middle. Oregon State's doing to Boise State what Boise State wants to do to every team, which is just run these little up and in routes, little slant routes. Just dink and dunk down the field. It's working for the Beavers here, as they have a 1st down and 10 at the 24-yard line. Hand off left side. 3 yards. 3 yards for the Beavers. Sucking some time off of this clock. Boise State will not get the kick at halftime. Goes back to pass, floats it up over the middle again. That one incomplete. Boise State with a nice defensive play there. Almost got behind the defender, but a nice hit right at the ball got there. Jars it loose. And Oregon State here is looking at a 3rd down and 7. As Bennett has some words with an offensive lineman. Delayed handoff, hit in the backfield and dropped for a loss of 1. 4th down and 8. Kick is up and the kick is good. Boise State jumped the snap, but didn't matter. 39-yard field goal, is good. 13-play, 52-yard drive took 3 minutes off the game clock. Cuts into the lead 7-3. Fielded right at the goal line for Boise State, up to the 20 to the 24. Hit on the Pac-12 logo, so they'll have pretty okay starting field position. It's about normal for the Boise State Broncos, on the kickoffs at least. And that was the other Jackson. Great receiving option. And that was just awful. Austin's injured. Oh, no. Oh, no. That hit was monstrous. He was grabbing that shoulder. Float pass over the middle. Again, we get a little bit of a glitch as Manson comes in here. That was his first pass of the season. It is incomplete. Actually, that may not be his first pass of the season. He may have had one in the Stanford game. That was a blowout. Fires again. This time complete for a 1st down. So Manson with a nice completion here. That was there before he even turned around. So nice adjustment there by Brooks to bring it in. Boise State being surprisingly aggressive as far as their play calling. You figure you turn around, you hand it off to Jackson, and you say, just go, buddy. Just run forward. Instead, we have 3 straight pass plays. I believe Austin's back in the game. He airs it out to the other side of the field. Nothing doing there. So 2 plays for Manson, 1 first down. Austin back in the game, so obviously the injury not severe. Turns around, hands the ball off to Jackson, who runs up the left side. Finds a big hole and gets enough for a 1st down. So 1st down and 10, Boise State. Nice job following forward. That would have been like a 3rd and 1, so not the worst. Not the worst scenario, but obviously if you can get a 1st down, get a 1st down. Clock is still moving. Ooh, nice move to get out of that tackle. Boise State will take a timeout. No gain there. Austin throwing it. It's right at the marker. It doesn't matter because it is incomplete. So takes the hit. Both players took a hit on that one. Austin took a hit from a lineman. The receiver took a hit from a safety, and it was all over. So 3rd down 11, and nothing doing there. They were trying to run a screen. You just couldn't get it to develop fast enough. 4th down and 18. The clock is moving. Oregon State took a timeout, by the way. Fielded at the 21-yard line. Slips a tackler or two. It's all the way up to the 33 or so. It'll be 1st down and 10 for Oregon State. Oregon State can double dip here. They will get the second half kickoff. Finds a nice gain there for 7 yards. This is only Oregon State's second possession of the game. Boise State brought a defender, but couldn't quite get there. Ball was deflected on the back end. Incomplete pass, so 3rd down and 3. Float pass up over the top. They got him inside the 25, all the way down to about the 21-yard line. Big play there for Oregon State. Washington floats it up over the top, and just an open receiver there. So they're well within field goal range here. The interesting thing would be is, let's say Oregon State only scores a field goal here. If they score a touchdown next, do they go for 2 to extend the lead to 7, or they just say, hey, we'll stick with 6 until it's absolutely necessary? It's a problem for later in the game. Timeout, Oregon State. They are driving this ball down the field to call the timeout, which is a little beneficial to Boise State. Hands the ball off. Met at the line of scrimmage. That'll be 2nd and goal as the clock winds down to a minute to go here in the first half. Oregon State, working with a... Oh, that should have been a pick. That should have been a pick. He was standing right there. That was the easiest interception of his life. And he just dropped it. 3rd and goal here. I was trying to say Oregon State working with a bit of a hurry-up offense here. Nearly cost him by throwing an interception. Single back set. Motion into the backfield to create an offset eye. Extra protection. Floats it up over the top. Tipped and incomplete. So Oregon State works with 1 run play. Doesn't get anything, goes to the passing game, and doesn't get anything. Instead, they will have to settle for a field goal. 8 plays, 56 yards, 57 seconds, and a 22-yard field goal is good. Fielded at the 1, up to the 10, met at the 20, not even the 20, met at the 19. Whoever that was just missed their blocks, and Hicks paid the price. So, not the best field position for Boise State, but that's all right. We'll see what their plan is here. Handing the ball off, probably a good idea. Take a 7-6 lead, see if you can adjust, make some defensive adjustments in the halftime. They have to be careful not to go too quickly here. The reason I say that is Oregon State has 1 timeout remaining. Snap the ball, hand it to Jackson. Oregon State might have been beneficial for them to call a timeout, just in case anything happens. But nothing happens. Boise State leads 7-0 at the half. Here in Boise, Oregon State's going to get the opening kickoff for the second half. They're only down 1. They've moved the ball very effectively down the field. It's when they get to the red zone that they start to have some trouble. So we'll see what kind of adjustments are made as we get ready for the second half of action. ESPN College Football, right here on twitch.tv/Shawnosaurus Rex. kick is away. He'll field it at the 3 up to the 20. 25 where he is met and dropped. So Oregon State will set up shop around the 26, 27-yard line. Take a look at the game track. Oregon State with a interception there. Oh, I forgot. Oregon State had a bad first possession. I think they had the ball 4 times in that first half. But Boise State threw an interception on their opening drive. Oregon State didn't do anything. Boise State scored a touchdown. Oregon State has since scored 2 field goals and held the Broncos' offense in check. Boise State had to bring in their backup quarterback for a couple of plays while Austin was out. He threw for 1 first down, and then Austin promptly came in and didn't do anything. And just like the quarterback for the Beavers, finding nobody right there. Incomplete pass brings up 2nd down and 10. Nice run up the middle there. That's a 6-yard gain.
That's a gain of 6 on the play. 3rd down.
Big 3rd down here for Boise State. Hand off. Bounces it back to the middle.
That's good for a gain of 4 yards.
Finds just enough room for a first down. Drops back to pass. Floating it out to the left side of the field. Their far side of the field. Nothing doing there. See that pretty frequently. They just launch it near a receiver and live to play another down, 2nd down and 10. Boise State readjusts. Might have some pressure off the edge. Oregon State going back to the running game. Picks up 5. Makes it 3rd and medium. See if the Broncos can get off the field here. The Broncos defense done a good job. Bend but don't break. They've given up 2 field goals. They gave up a long drive earlier. Looks like it's going to be a screen pass. That should have been an interception. It was just a bunch of blue jerseys there. Somebody was going right for the pick, and another player came in and said no. Except for it was your teammate. You should have let him grab it. So the punt is away on 4th and 5. And he is met immediately. The punt return team whiffed on that block, and the returner, Hicks, paid the price. So 3:38, Boise State's first drive of the second half. They'll run it. Oregon State would probably do well to just tee off and make sure that the run game doesn't get anything going. Boise State, throughout the season, has not shown a great ability to throw the football. They've had moments here and there, but it hasn't worked super well for them at times. And Austin is prone to throwing interceptions. However, Jackson, the running back, has been incredible in the backfield. And he's been able to spark the team to life at times. So the reception there for 3 yards doesn't really do a whole lot. Forces a 3rd and 11, so 3rd and slightly extra long. Drops back to pass and nearly throws a pick on their own side of the field. Just didn't get enough air under the ball. He may have actually had that route if he just floated it a smidge more. But there's not a ton of room to work with, considering that he's throwing to the same sideline that the offensive line was shifted towards. So not a whole lot going on there for Boise State. And Oregon State will have really nice field position at the 42-yard line as they start their second drive of the half. This is typically how these Boise State games go. The offense has to kind of just do enough to not blow it, but the defense can sometimes be left in vulnerable positions by being left on the field far too much and eventually kind of just running out of gas. We'll see what this episode holds as Gates getting in the face of the receiver a little bit. 7-yard gain. from the 49. It is 2nd and 3. Maybe a long 3, short 4. Whatever it was, the running back did not get the yardage. So we're looking at 3rd down and inches here, as Martin couldn't quite get it. 4 down lineman for Boise State. 2 receivers split to the top side of the screen in an interesting position for the running back. Motioning somebody into the backfield. He's not going to get that. That's going to be 4th and 1. Excellent play by the Boise State defense to drop him in the backfield and force a 4th down. And if you're Oregon State, why not? You just go for it. Screw it. There's a flag on the field. Oh, no. We saw UNLV have this problem last week, right in the same area. Got a false start on a 4th and 1. Moved it to a 4th and 6. Oh, they're going for a fake punt. And they didn't get it. Oh, my goodness. That is what they call a mad lad play. Right at midfield. Got about half the distance he needed. I'll give back. Give Boise State the ball back at the 50-yard line. 4-yard rush for Jackson makes it 2nd and 6. Boise State would be excellent time for them to capitalize. Drops back to pass, holds the ball for a while. Finally, a receiver comes open. Gets inside the 35 all the way down to the 32, maybe the 31. 8 for 16, 107 yards. He has the pick, no touchdowns. But I believe that might have been Jackson again, probably the best receiving threat for Boise State. At least the most consistent. Maybe threat might be a little bit of a strong word as far as I don't know if he's going to take the top off your defense, but if you give him space and you let him work, he'll torch you. And by torch, I mean it's like a slow burn kind of thing. 4-yard rush leads to another delayed handoff. 2-yard gain on that will make it 3rd down and 4. Boise State's in an okay position here. They can look at a field goal. Obviously, a touchdown would be what you would want, but a field goal, not bad. I was talking about earlier, does Oregon State go for, that was a questionable move. Should have dipped it back to the inside and gone up the field, but Jackson, nevertheless, comes up with the 1st down, so 1st down and 10. What I was trying to say, though, really quickly, I was talking about earlier, if Oregon State scores another touchdown, do they go for 2 to make it a 7-point game? If Boise State scores a field goal here, that point is moot. Drops back to pass, single back formation, and threw it right to a defender's thigh. Nothing going there, but if you're a Broncos fan, or perhaps the digital coach of the Broncos, maybe you don't want to see that. Hand the ball off. 2nd down and 10 turns into 3rd and 10. No gain as the clocks hit 0 for the 3rd quarter. Jackson runs off the field. Everybody holds up the 4 fingers. And we'll have more ESPN college football right here on twitch.tv/ShaunosaurusRex in just one drink of this life water. 7-6 at the end of the 3rd quarter. All right. Welcome back. Empty backfield. Free rusher is going to be a fumble. It's going to be picked up by Oregon State. He might go all the way. He could get caught from behind at the 20. Slipped a tackle. He's all the way down to the 15-yard line. Oh my goodness. That was a free rusher that Austin just never saw coming. And big number 74 running all the way down the field. Into the red zone. I'm mad. I wore my best suit. My mom was here. She was very excited to watch a football game. And you fumble it. What'd you eat, a bunch of butter before you came out here? Butterfingers? That's me on the sideline. Intercepted by Boise State, so a turnover to an immediate turnover. And Oregon State flushes their perfect opportunity to get on top. Just stepped right in front of it. A little bit of the ice skates. Game's not perfect. Has some weirdness. That definitely feels like a weird NCAA football interception. You see those sometimes. Quarterback doesn't really want to hear it. It wasn't the worst throw in the world. Boise State got a break from the RNG, or from RNGesus. I was going to say the RNG gods, but RNGesus. Was it down the field? That was nearly picked. Nearly picked. Austin just did not get enough power on it. That was a good play.
That makes it 2nd and 10.
It's a good play. Wilson, I believe, is the receiver. Just a nice, big, long defender out there. Gets his hands on the ball and causes the incomplete pass. So 7-6 here. Boise State obviously doesn't want to be too conservative here and just run the ball, but at the same time, keeping the clock moving might be the best thing for them. They can milk a little time off of it. They can give their defense a chance to rest, who just bailed them out of a pretty awful situation. So, big 3rd down and 10 here. 2 receivers, bottom set. Float pass up over the top. He's got a wide open receiver. He's going to slip a tackle at the 50, the 40, 20, 10. Touchdown, Boise State. Is that Jackson? That absolutely is Jackson, the best receiver on Boise State's roster. Coming through in the clutch. That was like a 85-yard touchdown. Got a favorable matchup. 27 couldn't make the tackle. 26 couldn't make the tackle. Home free. Boise State breathing a big sigh of relief after fumbling it in the red zone. Their defense gets a huge turnover. Oregon State obviously not out of it. 4:08 is plenty of time, even with their slightly slower pace of play, to march down the field and score a touchdown. They'll need a 2-point conversion to tie the game. Austin to Jackson, 86 yards for the touchdown. It said 3 plays, but it was really just 1. Huge. That was on 3rd down, too. So the kick return, fielded at the 1 up to the 25, about to the 29 or so. Oregon State will work with good field position. Oregon State's, I believe it was their 2nd drive, their first field goal drive took quite a bit of time off the clock. Close to 4 minutes. It was either 3 minutes and 20 seconds or 3 minutes and 50 seconds, one of those two. And they did milk it. So they have the kind of time that they took on their previous scoring drive. They just have to punch it into the end zone. And again, goes back to Boise State's defense just playing bend, don't break. Nice sack there by big number 92. I believe that's his first sack of the season. We've seen him highlighted a couple of times in the pregame. The one time he's not, it comes up with a sack. Boise State in a good position here, up 8 as the 22nd ranked team in the country. Huge game against Oregon next week. Oregon schools back-to-back. The Arizona schools back-to-back earlier in the season. But 3rd down and 15 brings a little bit of pressure. It's picked up by Oregon State. It's going to be, the pass is going to be complete at the 35, 36-yard line and met right there by the defender. So just that's a poor play by Oregon State. You got to know where the sticks are in that case. You need to run that 5 yards deeper and turn around. I don't know what you're cheering for. It was 3rd and 15. You got 12. Do the math, sir. You're still 3 yards short. 4th down and 3 with 3 minutes to go. Punt is away. Boise State fields it inside the 20 up to the 30, where he is met almost immediately. Clipping on the receiving team. 1st and 10.
42-yard punt. Returns for a gain of 11 yards.
Not 100% sure why that was declined. That was a penalty. What? Was that was a what the what? Maybe it would have been a repunt and they figured they'll just take their losses. Nice throw there by Austin, who was 11 for 21 with 211 yards. 86 of those, by the way, coming on one play. Has one touchdown, one interception, is now in the shotgun formation. Oregon State still has 3 timeouts, so it makes sense that they would, they would kick the ball deep. They're going to need a stop here, though. Obviously. That's what commentators do. They point out the obvious. Hand the ball off. Jackson met in the backfield and dropped. Lost 2. Oregon State with a quick timeout. 2:14 remaining.
That'll bring up 2nd and 12.
Oregon State bringing more pressure. Almost got to Austin. The throw was away. It's good for 8. Still 4 yards short. On the Oregon State side of the field to the 48-yard line. Boise State probably being a little too aggressive here. That's one of those, if it works, you're okay with it. If it doesn't, not great. Oregon State took their final timeout. Turn around, hand the ball off, met in the backfield. 40-second play clock will bleed probably all of this time off. And Oregon State will drop the game in Boise. Boise State, not a great game for them. It's a good win. I believe it'll make sure that they're bowl eligible, which is good because I was really counting on Boise State making it to a bowl game. Just based on, the episode count that I had. And that directly dictated what the start date for the next season would be. 3rd down and 7. They can just run the clock out. There's nothing Oregon State can do. It's weird that the play clock, when it winds down, it's not consistent. There was no reason for us to sit through all of that. They'll throw a pass here. That's going to be intercepted. This game's not over yet.
Smith with the interception.
They threw a pass on 3rd down. They threw a pass on 3rd down. They have the game in hand. This is the most Washington State Cougars-ass garbage I have ever seen that's not from the Washington State Cougars. If you don't know, in the Pacific Northwest, we have a term called Couging it. And Couging it means to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. And that might be what Oregon State is doing here. That pass is complete up the sideline. He's going to break free. He's into the 30, down to the 20, down to the 10. That's a touchdown. Why did you throw the ball on 3rd down? Why? I was just saying that it was going to be so nice to make sure that I have enough episodes that are going to win and get to bowl eligibility, and he threw a pick. Austin throws another interception against a Pac-12 school, and it costs them dearly. All right. 4th? Excuse me. I don't even know. PAT is good. We are all knotted up at 14 with 25 seconds to go in a game that should be done. Fielded at the goal line. We'll get up to about the 25-yard line. Boise State working with 3 timeouts. James Hale. 0 field goals made, 0 attempted. Could need to come off the bench here. We could be going to overtime for the 2nd time this season for Oregon State. The more like, I don't know if bigger issue is the problem. That was nearly an interception. Wilson couldn't get it.
That makes it 2nd and 10.
And that matchup definitely favors, who's that, Ward? Ward looks like he's about 5 inches taller than Wilson out there on the outside. What extra sucks about this is if Boise State loses, they're all but eliminated from being able to compete for the Pac-12 championship game and the title. but oh man. 2nd down and 10. They're bringing the pressure. They're going to take a timeout. Third down and 18. Fires it. That's not anywhere near. Why? Why did you call a timeout with 4th and... My God. You better cover this punt. All right. We are going to overtime in a game that should be done and should be final, and Boise State should have won. We are going to overtime for some reason. Rules of overtime are very simple. Each team gets 1 possession per overtime period. They start at the opponent's 25-yard line. They rotate how they go. So Oregon State here is on defense for the first overtime. They will be on offense first for the second overtime. And it goes like that back and forth until a winner is declared. You'll have to go for 2 starting in the third overtime. And Jackson just had a huge run to set up 1st and goal. Probably haven't gone to him enough this game, which I checked. I have it set more to run than throw, but they just keep throwing the ball. So the overtime period is good. That was a throw to nobody. I did think that the receiver, or the referee, excuse me, was a receiver, or a defender for Oregon State. A little run pass option isn't going to do a whole lot for you. So it's going to bring up 3rd and goal here. That first down play was absolutely atrocious. Jackson had that huge run. And Boise State may have to lean on their defense again to hold to a field goal attempt. Going to be a delayed handoff. He's not going to quite get there. 4th down and goal. Jackson was just short. They'll kick the 3. (17-14). Boise State needs to rely on their defense. If Oregon State scores a touchdown, it is all over. If they kick a field goal and make the field goal, we will go to overtime number 2. That was a better overtime period this time for Boise State than the last one they had on offense against Arizona State, where they lost like 50 yards. We'll run it off to the left side. Men in the backfield. So it'll be 3rd down and 11. So 3rd down and 11. Boise State needs to stop. Looking around all over the field. He's wide open. He's going to be short. 4th and inches for the Oregon State Beavers. After a defensive miscommunication, he was wide open. That should have been a first down, but he just short. Let's see what Oregon State does here on 4th and inches in overtime. You go for the tie. You try for the win. They're going to look at a booth review here.
The call in the field is under review.
Not 100% sure what we're looking at here. Okay. We have the yard marker there.
After review, the call in the field stands.
Okay. It stands. We had the yellow marker, so assuming it was ball location. We've had a couple of bad overturns this season. Oregon State will kick the field goal. We're knotted up at 17, going to double overtime here in Boise. Again, I cannot stress this enough. This game should be over. Boise State threw the ball on a 3rd down with like 30 seconds left. Threw an interception. And then Oregon State immediately scored. So here we have the reverse of the first overtime. We're in the second overtime. Oregon State gets the ball first. And they'll get no yards on 1st and 10. So bring us to 2nd and 10. Another handoff right up the middle. Spun down after a gain of 2. 3rd down and 8. That call stands might save the Broncos here. Drops back to pass. They hit him in the backfield, and he's sacked for a loss of 8. So 3rd down and 16 coming up. Williams with a nice play there to get off his block and hit the quarterback. Quarterback Washington playing for Oregon State. Just couldn't get the ball out of his hands. Had some time, but that'll lead to another field goal on the opposite side of the field this time. Kick is up, and it is good. So Oregon State gets their first lead of the game, 20-17. Touchdown by Boise State wins it. Field goal forces us into a 3rd overtime, at which point touchdowns will need to be 2-point conversion tries after. 3 receivers to the top side of your screen. It's like they're working for a screen or something. 4 sacks for Oregon State. 2nd down and 18. There's another screen play. Trying to get the running back involved. They'll get, 6 yards back? So a long 3rd down here for Boise State. Back-to-back screens. Stands back in the pocket. All kinds of time. Throw the ball. Launches it deep into the end zone. Almost intercepted. Instead, his receiver got plastered into the ground. Another field goal here for Boise State. Field goal is good. I genuinely can't tell sometimes. It's so difficult to see. So we go to overtime number 3. Boise State will have the ball. I can't believe this game is still going. Finds an open man inside the 5. 1st and goal at the 4-yard line. For some reason, that formation did not look correct. It looked like they were missing a lineman, but I think it's just because they were spread so wide on the receiving end. They didn't have their tight end. That's what I'm more used to looking at, the six people on the line. Delayed handoff, bounces off to the left, touchdown, Boise State. Touchdown, Jackson. Boise State now up, but I believe they have to go for 2 because it is the 3rd overtime. And that is exactly what they have to do. He'll be met in the backfield, but he won't. Wow. Oh my goodness. He was met in the backfield, but he slipped a couple of tackles there to get into the end zone. 28-20. Oh my gosh. Boise State. Now they need to generate some pressure, perhaps a sack, an interception maybe. Nothing doing for Oregon State there on the 1st down play. 2nd and 10 coming up. Again, we're in the 3rd overtime. If you're new, just joining, hey, welcome in. Slipped a tackle. That'll be a 1st down and 10 for Oregon State. Oregon State's going to need to score a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to keep this game going into a 4th overtime. Oh, they almost had him. They almost had him in the backfield. They brought pressure on a play-action pass. Just barely got the throw away. So it was an incomplete pass. Obviously, you want to get a sack there, but incompletion is good too. Hands the ball off right side, met in the backfield or right at the line of scrimmage. They'll actually give him a yard. And it looks like Martin might be injured. Looks like he's grabbing for that leg. So 3rd down and 9. Boise State needs to hold on defense for 2 plays. They bring 4. Float the pass over. He's out of bounds at the 10. 4th down and 6. This is the most unnecessarily dramatic game I have ever seen. Snaps the ball. 4 down lineman. Finds a receiver, touchdown. I'm so irritated. Slipped a tackle there right at the 2-yard line. And marched in 4-6. For those of you waiting to watch Chicken Police, that'll be following this game. All right, 2-point conversion. Drops back to pass. No pressure, all kinds of time. He's wide open. He's incomplete. It's incomplete. Boise State wins. Boise State wins in 3 overtimes that didn't need to happen. Oh. 28-26 is your final. Oh, thank God they won. Holy shit. Whew. All right, triple overtime produces the winner of Boise State in an absolute thriller. Play of the game, the 86-yard touchdown pass. They gave Boise State the 14-6 lead that they then threw away and decided that they would play 3 extra overtime periods of football. Absolute unnecessariness. Coaches will meet at midfield and shake hands. Boise State still in the running for the Pac-12 championship game appearance, but it's going to take a little bit of help. Charles Jackson, 3 receptions, 106 yards, and a touchdown. They go off the field. Victors. Oregon State. They did everything they could, and they had that pass complete in the back of the end zone for the 2-point conversion, but just couldn't get them down in bounds. Let them a little too far. That was a huge play. That fumble and an excellent effort by Boise State to stop him before he got to the end zone, and immediately led to an interception. Here's the big one, 86 yards. Touchdown for the Broncos. And here's the Beavers. This is their game-tying touchdown. Nice tight spiral. Couple missed tackles right there, and he was off to the races to tie the game after the 2-point conversion at 14 with like 12 seconds left. God, what a game. What a game. Oh, that's a good screenshot. That's not a good screenshot. All right. Well, there you go. We at least have a good thumbnail. Okay. Go ahead and turn my controller on. That's step 1. Game stats. Player stats. Manson, they gave him 0 for 1, so Austin must have come back in immediately and thrown that completion for the first down. I was crediting to Manson. Manson came in for 1 play on an injured because Austin got injured. He went 16 for 30, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, had 267 yards. Keep in mind, long of 86 is a lot of that yardage. Otherwise, he was 15 for 29 for like 150. But that is okay. Or maybe 175. Doesn't matter. Point is, he did fine. Take a look at the rushing. Jackson touched the ball 21 times. Got 74 yards at 3.5 yards a carry. 1 touchdown, had a long of 18. Receiving, Wilson had 4 for 43. Jackson, 3 for 106, 86 of those on 1 play. Rice, 2 for 39. Nelson, 2 for 28. Brooks, 2 for 21. McIntosh 1 for 4. Tillman 1 for 20. Jackson 1 for 6. And then last but not least, we'll check the defensive stats. We'll look at the sacks. 2 for Williams, 1 for Brown. And the 1 interception for Gates. Oh, God. So there you have it. A 3-overtime thriller of a game that didn't need to be a 3-overtime thriller of a game. You ever watch a team say, we would like to play more football, let's throw an interception, and then immediately give up the game-tying score and the 2-point conversion? Oh. But that sets up a pretty big game against Oregon next week. I'm going to do something a little bit different. We're going to sim through the rest of this. But we're actually going to take a look at the standings as we'll go ahead and simulate to number 15, Oregon. But we'll take a look at the standings and we'll get you set for Oregon next week. Normally, I do that at the beginning of the next episode, but we could be playing for a lot more than just a victory, you know? In order to stay in contention, Boise State has to win against Oregon, period. But the question is going to become, who does Boise State need help from? If we end up with the same record as Stanford, we should have the tiebreaker over them in the conference. Though the overall record might kind of throw all of this out of whack. Though we don't have any out of conference losses. We beat our three non-conference opponents. We beat Georgia, Air Force, and UNLV. So that should be okay. The later in the season it gets, the longer these get. See if we get any prospects. More importantly, though, or maybe even most importantly, Boise State does hit bowl eligibility, like, for sure. We could go 7-6. I don't know how appealing that team is to get, but you know, one more victory, 8-5, isn't terrible. Won't be the best bowl game, but you know, still a bowl game. All right. Wait, what? Why? Boise State's Become predicts a loss for Oregon in Eugene. Oh, okay, never mind. Never mind. I've skipped the word Oregon, and I was like, just predicts a loss in Eugene. I'm like, why? But a top 21 matchup. We actually flipped positions, and we have the same record. Okay, so we're going to go over here to ESPN. We're just going to look at the conference standings. Wow. Washington picked up a victory against USC. Looks like it was a big week last week. All right, so we are 7-3, 4-3 in conference. Oregon is 5-2 in conference. Their streak is lost 1. I don't know. Oh, team schedule. Here we go. They lost at number 16 Stanford 39-31. That's who we needed help from. Otherwise, we would need to rely on Oregon State to get a victory in Autzen to help us out. So we'll go ahead and take a look at Stanford's schedule as well. They have one game left against Notre Dame, who is 10-0. Ugh, I don't like that. But next week's game against Oregon is huge. It's number 19 versus number 21. A win here could could put us in contention to get to the Pac-12 championship game. It just got a whole lot more interesting. I didn't realize that it was going to come down to this, but because if we get to 5-3 in conference and we drop Oregon to 5-3, Stanford's done. So we would need to win against Oregon. We probably need to win against Utah as well to get us to 6-3 in the conference. But we would have tiebreakers over Stanford and over Oregon. Oh, it is getting fascinating. Huge game against Oregon at Autzen Stadium next week. And we'll try that again. Huge game again in Autzen Stadium against Oregon next week. Wow. I don't normally do that, but I thought it was interesting to see kind of where we were sitting because there was some outside noise that could impact the next game. So we'll see you next week in Oregon against the Ducks. It's going to be a good one.